Hey guys, it's Gus, and I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last 2 months, there's been a lot of mistakes in this game. And it's not the uncontrollable or hard to fix stuff, like lag. If there's server wide lag, that's probably a really hard issue to identify and fix. I'm talking about the simple stuff where it takes one click of a button, uh, and it's been happening frequently. So I just want to cover some of them. The most recent being this Astro Lockbox. And I know not everybody is a fan of the Astro Lockbox, but the Astro Lockbox, well, at least on PlayStation, anyways, is a really good item for the game because historically, every single time there's an Astro Lockbox release, the backlog goes down. This is the first time the Astro Lockbox has ever been so bad that the backlog went up, which means it's not an AD sync like it normally is. People are just not doing it. It's that bad of a release. And there's a ton of stuff wrong with this Astro Lockbox. Who knows? First of all, there's two Astro Lockboxes. That's never happened
Do
before.
you have Astro?
So when we come here to the bazaar, there's this Astro Lockbox currently being sold at full price, um, that has a placeholder symbol. And if you notice, it has the Rhymefire Salamander account wide mythic as its main catch item, which coincidentally happens to be one of the worst mounts in the game. And then you go to Legendary Adolescent Deep Crow, which is a skin, the Imperial Rage Drake, which is a skin. It's also like 30k AD in the auction house. The Owlbear Cub, which is a pretty good augment, but nobody's really using those at endgame anymore, and its equip bonus is pretty much obsolete. And the Lich Companion, which is available in multiple other places in the game. And then you go down, it still has the Paranoid Delusion, still has the Quickling, it still has the Mage Slayer. So the companions really weren't changed. And if you look at the random mounts, those are all skins. I believe they're all available in the game. Pretty shitty way to, spend your AD, because usually people buy these Astrolock boxes for the trade bars, and then if they get something juicy on top, that just lowers the cost of the trade bars they were buying anyways. But there's no incentive to get this Astrolock box. But there's two Astrolock boxes. There's the one that was available before the sale. That's this one. And these went up significantly in the auction house on PlayStation 4. If you look, it's got the same companions, it's got the same, epic and rare mounts. But when you look at the big catch items up there, it's got the Jarlaxle, which is a very hard to get um, companion, and it also gives 7.5% accuracy, only companion in the game. It's got the Crystalline Warhorse, which is only available in one other spot in the game. It's got the Omen of Despair, which is okay. I would argue it's much better than the Rhymefire Golem or the Salamander. It's also got the Neo Eclipse Lion, which I'm 50-50 on, but that's a whole other mess up. That's the first time they've ever put bound items in an Astro lockbox. It's unbelievable why they would do that. The reason why it disincentivizes people buying this Astro lockbox, because once they get that Neo Eclipse Lion, there's no reason for them to open anymore. Because if they get another one, it's just bound anyways. It's really unusual the decisions. I'm not even gonna say mistakes. These have been decisions being made. It seems like it's hurting everybody. Again, I know everybody's not a fan of the Astro lockbox, but when the Zen exchange goes down, basically everybody benefits. I'm not going to say everybody because not everybody uses the Zen exchange, but basically everybody I know uses the Zen exchange. It's too good not to use, but to each their own. There's some people who don't want to use it. When this module dropped, people were farming heroic encounters like crazy in the Skyhold, and some of the items they could get were these pants and shirts. So if players like me farmed hundreds of heroic encounters and didn't get a single one, and then after like the third or fourth week, they said, "Oh, we forgot to add them to the loot table like we promised. We'll add them now." And I'm like, What about the 200 heroics I've already farmed? And they're like, tough, go farm 200 more. Well, it's harder to farm them now because there's way less people doing it, so it takes much, much longer. It's a complete shit show. I don't understand how they could have messed this up. And to make these pants and shirt even worse, look at this. You see, it takes 500,000 Astro diamonds, 500 campaign currency, and then 120 of this currency right here. Unknowable coin. You get this from doing the advanced and master version. And if you're doing a week and a half's weekly haul to get enough to buy one of these pants or shirts, you're going to get multiple legendary or mythic shirts or pants during those runs, which makes these absolutely useless. It's crazy that you have to get a stepping stone item, you have to run a higher tiered dungeon to get a lower tiered item. It makes no sense. And this cost, you know, I don't really care, but I know for a lot of people, 500k AD is a shitload of AD, and it is to me too. It's painful, but I'd rather pay that than farm the hell out of it again. Um, th- this to say this requires 120 currency from running dungeons that give better loot than these items is just so absurd. It's not oversight; they're aware, and I don't know how they did that. Uh, we had the whole Winterfest debacle. The Winterfest has been around 10 years and it's always been a great event. And it had two ways to do it: farm the hell out of it, or just casually play it and get a ton of free gifts every day. And they decided to take both of those away from everybody, which was very unfortunate. And then they added a new, nearly cash only companion in there. And they said if you play the game normally and get that, we're going to ban you. I don't think they ended up banning anybody, but they threw that threat out there. That's crazy. Look at this. If I go to the preview server right now on the calendar, on the preview server, there is a bizarre sale. The bizarre sale almost always comes with the Astro Lockbox. It brings the cost down and it makes it so people want to buy them because they can get trade bars at a reduced cost. So their blog that they put out for this event said there was a trade bar sale and a bazaar sale. Preview shows a bazaar sale and a trade bar sale, but when we're on live, empty promises. Again, you notice this trend has been going very ongoing recently, and they're aware. People are screaming this at them. And, I'm not saying screaming like in rage. They're screaming it so they can hear them. Pretty bad. And if you look at it, there's another event that's nowhere on this calendar, and it hasn't been on this calendar for months and months and months and months. And everybody's asking, where's the two-time refinement event? Not everybody does the two-time refinement event, but the two-time refinement event is one of those events that free-to-play players use to help make their bankroll so they can play this game without spending as much money. And that's where they get the epic enchanting stones, right, from Lair the Dread Ring. And when you come here to Epic, and we come here to Epic, and we go buyout, they're 20k. They're going up. People are paying more for these. So the farmers who did get these in the past are selling them more, but a lot of them are out and they want to get more and they don't want to do it outside the two-time event. And the two-time event's been around in this game since this game's been out. And for some reason, I'm not saying they pulled the plug on it, but it's been gone way longer than typical. So I got this mount. Let's go. I got this last night. I got a clip of it saved. If anybody wants me to post that, I will. So go home. Wait, I gotta make space in my inventory. Okay, so we got okay. So we're gonna come here. We're gonna go home, and I did it. I needed the 8 collection points, and I was telling myself I don't care how much it's gonna cost me. I'm gonna get it. And I opened up a bunch of Astro Lock boxes. Not as many as I thought I would have to open, but I got it. And I got this. Where is this dumb mount at? Where is it? Sorry, I'm looking. There it is. The Neo Eclipse line. It's 8 collection points. This is the only place in the game to get it. The problem with this mount was it was bind on pickup. So if you spent money to open an Astro lockbox, you're getting bound loot you can't sell. This is unheard of. This is pretty absurd. I know I covered that a few minutes ago, but I just can't believe they did it. And they had the whole Hank the Ranger debacle. This was a glorious fuck up. This was unbelievable. First, they overhyped it. Complete dog shit. They ended up buffing it. Guess what? It's still dog shit. It's supposedly S tier. It's right at the bottom of the barrel. And pardon my French, I didn't mean to swear like that. This companion so bad. And then they promised, they put in writing that this was a utility companion twice. And guess what? It's not. It's an offense companion. I was really looking forward to putting this in my Warden build in my utility slot. It's unfortunate that they had to mislead people like that. It's a shame they had to make themselves look, I'm not going to say incompetent, but when you mess up that horribly, don't put out any corrective action about it. It starts to, it's not worth thinking of you bad. You're making yourself look bad. And then they had this cold light walker, right? Never used it. Well, I kind of used it, but it's they had the gall to sell this for 4 weeks, and the week after they took it out of the Zen market, they nerfed it. Can you believe that? These 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 series of mess ups, right? You could say are attributed to new leadership, new management, learning the ropes. But these almost every one of these topics we've covered have been decisions, not like programming error. These have been human decisions to mess over the player base and make the game worse than it is right now. And I don't know if the game's in a state right now where they can continuously keep messing up this drastically. Because this isn't like the game is down and they're trying to find what's wrong with the game, right? It's not like that. This is a conscious decision to press a button to screw over players. And they keep doing it, and it's happening a lot. And I'm just waiting for next week. What's going to happen next week? You know, I still play this game every single day. I still enjoy this game. I still want the best for the game. I still have high hopes. But man, you can't. I didn't cover everything either. Some of the stuff is pretty ticky tacky, but to me, since everything how I play the game is magnified so much, the little stuff really adds up for me. And these players that are barely getting themselves to log on experience something bad. And they're like, "Oh wait, going to the next game. See ya. Be back next mod." And that makes it so the other players that are still playing have less players to play with, having a hard time making a group, so they leave too. And it just creates a ripple effect. And it's all avoidable. If they would listen to feedback, maybe test stuff, maybe put on their preview server, maybe when they implement something and have somebody there to fix it if it's a mess up, something to overcome all these self-imposed gunshot wounds that we keep doing on they keep doing on this game. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I just had to cover all this mess ups because I have a feeling there's going to be more and more of them, and I don't want to lose track of them. If I missed anything that you noticed that was also a major mess up in the last couple months, please comment below. I'm sure others would love to read about it. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.